Hello, all, and welcome back to yet another whole series. We're skipping right along here for cycle two. This is episode 4, and I think it's been 3 weeks, so I need to calm down. But for those of you joining us, thank you. The whole series is our rebranded, ongoing kind of just discussion with local Chicago creatives and ensembles, and just also continuing to explore micro theater in its many different forms. It is a Saturday morning. It's at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And I am joined by the incomparable Nathan Dale Short of A Short Leap Theater, who is joining me to discuss Friends with Guns and kind of just a short leap. So feel free to introduce yourself, names, pronouns if inclined. And yeah, how'd you get here?
Sure. First of all, thank you for that compliment. Incomparable is so kind. My name is Nathan Dale Short. My pronouns are they, them. And I got here almost not even 3 years ago. I actually grew up in Kansas. I spent most of uh, my time growing up. I moved there just before I turned 7 and spent 21 years there. I went to college there, second grade through my undergrad. Got my BFA at Emporia State University, and then moved to Topeka, Kansas, and started my first theater company there, Sunrise Theater Company, that is still up and around. And found that I needed repotted. You know, I had outgrown the pot that was Kansas, and I needed to find a bigger pot. And I moved here completely accidentally. Chicago was never on my radar. I had never visited the city before I moved here, and my first day in the city was the day I moved into my apartment. Um, I
Exciting.
knew, I know, I knew like 4 people, and only one of them well. And 2 of the people that I knew moved less than 6 months after I moved here. So I moved here completely sight unseen and figured it out. One of the reasons was obviously the performance opportunities, but I also just wanted to go somewhere I didn't know anybody and figure out how to make it work. So that's how I got here.
Oh God, that's so brave. Uh, but
It
also,
felt crazy.
I'm like, of course you're a director. Give me something I'm not familiar with, and let me figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. You understand.
Oh, it's fantastic. Where are you from originally?
Was born in just outside of Phoenix,
Oh,
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, and I moved to LA and my brother was born, moved back to Phoenix, my sister was born, and then we moved to Kansas.
Gotcha.
Paola, Kansas.
I remember hearing a little bit about LA, but yeah,
Yeah,
those
I
are
don't
three
remember much
very
of it.
different places.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember much of it.
Oh gosh. Well, that is actually kind of a genius segue because that gives you, I think, a very unique insight on the term neighbor
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
have that many.
I
Uh,
sure have.
so I guess let's just play a quick little word game.
Yeah,
Do a couple rounds of these,
sure.
uh, and I'm gonna nix my second question because I wasn't a fan of it in our pre-chat.
All right.
I'll probably ask it anyway.
Great.
Um, So you are the director of Friends with
Oh,
Guns,
yes,
is being produced by a Short Leap Theater, where you are the artistic director of literature.
correct.
So I guess to start us off with Friends with Guns, uh, describe it in 3 words.
I see. I looked at these questions, and this was the one that I knew I was going to have trouble with.
Yes.
Um, it is 3 words to describe Friends with Guns. Femininity via confrontation. Nailed
Hmm,
it. Did I get it? I think I got it.
I think so. Yeah. I haven't
It's
seen it.
femininity, confrontation, and identity. It's actually the 3 words I think I'd use instead.
See, I'm a bad interviewer because I haven't seen the thing that we're talking about yet.
I didn't say that though, Dakota.
I know, but my excuse now is that that gives me a good thing to look for when I go to see it.
It's true. It's true.
Fantastic neighbor in 3 words.
Neighbor in 3 words. Person living upstairs.
Person living. Accurate. Let's see. Let's see. The next one is going to be how do you like your hot dog?
See, okay, so I have to be
Barbecue
careful.
neighbors.
I have to be careful when I answer this because I, up to this point, have not had a Chicago dog.
Oh
I understand, but I don't like a lot of that extra. Like, I don't like tomatoes, I don't like the extra stuff, and I'm not a pickle guy. However, have you ever had a Sonoran hot dog?
no.
Oh man. They get like pinto beans, they put like a salsa verde on it, they put like it's they like fry it like till it's like cracking open. It's one of the best culinary experiences I've ever had.
Ugh. Sounds very scientific.
It's I've had it in Austin from a food truck, and tell you what, find this food truck because
Go
it's
to Austin.
one of the
Find
best I've ever
leave.
had.
That's courtesy of our kind of typical question. I did think of some non-meat related questions because
Sure.
some people don't eat that stuff.
What I
I
hear.
usually ask people where their hot dog places. And then since we are in Chicago, are you deep dish or thin crust? And where's your like slice if you take from that?
If I'm gonna get a slice, I'm gonna go to Pizza Lobo most often. I like their slices, I like their flavors. That's where I'm gonna go for a slice. However, if I'm looking to get like a deep dish, I'm going for Pequod's.
Mm,
All of that said, I'm an equal opportunity pizza enthusiast, so I will eat whatever pizza's in front of me, whether it's deep dish, thin crust, or what.
even 7-Eleven.
If it's fresh, I'll eat it.
It's an exploration,
Right. It's a risk, but often it's one I'm willing to take.
truly. And then I guess since the show talks about guns, what's your take on guns? If you could be a gun, what would you be?
That's a different question than the first one. If I
Yeah,
could, I think this is one of the things that I really love about this show is I don't think it's a gun show.
yeah.
I don't think it's a show that deals with like it has firearms and it deals with firearms, but I don't think that that's what she wrote the show about.
It's like the
Stephanie,
trigger event,
I'm sorry.
like a trigger kind of thing.
Nice, yeah. Stephanie Allison Walker, the playwright, uh, uh, her and I have gotten pretty close through the process, and I don't think she wrote this play to be a gun play.
Mm,
And I think that like a lot of people in our demographic, like people who are struggling a little bit with the current administration who maybe voted the other way. I think for a lot of us, we really struggle with this idea of firearms and limited firearm control.
mm,
And I think what Stephanie really does smartly with Friends with Guns is explores liberals who might agree with the Second Amendment and it might be pro Second Amendment rights, but also might be pro like better gun control laws or better background checks or things like that.
mm,
And that's what she really dives into with Friends with Guns is these two liberal couples, one of whom is very anti-gun and the other who is very pro Second Amendment. And that's where the conflict lives and like where it comes from is this disagreement with these two couples just trying to connect with one another and how we are quick to make assumptions and judgments without having a full grasp of what the full picture is.
yeah. Well, I think just even hearing you describe that, it talks about that very like there is no cookie cutter Democrat, there is no cookie cutter Republican.
Right.
Like there are, I mean, this recent election, I think, kind of proved that, right? Is
Yeah.
I may I may have I may be a Democrat, but I don't agree with I don't check every single box, and that's I think I would hope how most elections are when you go in that room. It's like I'm not always gonna vote for like I'm gonna bounce
Well,
around on the thing.
there is no world where every like to your point, there's no cookie cutter. Like there is no world where every Democrat feels exactly the same on every issue, where every
Mm,
Republican feels exactly the same on every issue, where every conservative or liberal. Like the reality is we're an opinionated species and an opinionated culture. And the reality that we're facing is that we are being partisan and saying you're not the right version of Republican or you're the wrong version of Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the conflict lives in like the present day. And so because this, even in the Friends with Guns, like because Danny and Leah, characters who feel pretty strongly pro Second Amendment, feel that way and have everything else in common with this Josh and Shannon, the other couple. It's this one issue that seems to cause division.
Mm-hmm.
And they've written, Josh in particular, the character Josh, has written off the couple because of that one issue, as opposed to recognizing all of the other beautiful things about the relationship that could exist.
Oh, it's so timely, and it's so fascinating too that it opened about a week or two after the year following the 2024 election,
Well, wasn't the 2024 election on
November 5th.
November 5th? So our first preview was November 5th.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, and what's even crazier is Stephanie wrote this play on the day of Trump's first inauguration.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just part of the history of the script.
Yeah, it was a big one. I mean,
Yep, yep. Wasn't small.
so what? I guess kind of with all of this exposition, then what
Yeah.
is the cookie cutter synopsis?
The cookie cutter synopsis is Shannon is a mother of two young boys and has kind of been reduced to just that. She's a mom who is terrified of everything and depends on her husband Josh for her protection, for her care. But even though she's like highly successful, she's a highly successful realtor. She's done a lot on her own and raised two pretty well-behaved kids. But one morning she runs into Leah, who is a boho hippie queen, and Leah and her immediately get along. They click and find connection where they haven't in a while. Leah being a mother of three, two 3-year-olds, twins, and a newborn. And they immediately hit it off, connect via motherhood or, just shared opinions on what it's like to bring being a mom and a woman in the world. And the next scene we see the couples, Josh and Shannon and Leah and Danny, all connecting and having a party and really getting along until the topic of guns comes up. And Shannon begins to, wonder why am I afraid of guns? Is it because of what I've dealt with, because of my feelings, or is it because of what I've been told to feel? And through that conflict arises, and we see that Shannon finds her womanhood, her identity, not only as a partner and a wife and a mother, but also as a woman in the world, confronts a massive fear and the fallout that occurs after that. Once we see how Josh feels, and once we see, you know, who we are to each other. And
Mm,
the questions that the play really asks throughout the end is like, when one thing can cause so much division and derision, who are we to one another?
right. And the like the ability or inability to um let go or be
Yeah.
fluid around another person's point of view.
Well, and it's jumping back to what I was saying a moment ago, like we see this point of view, we hear it, we see it, and that's it. That's all we need. There's no more communication. And that's exactly what happens in the show is we see one thing happen and communication goes out the window.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well,
I'm
what
trying to be
was
delicate and not spoil anything. So that's very cookie cutter and neat.
what we appreciate it.
I'm the guy.
It's micro. Um so I guess kind of pivoting from that, what was the thing that like each director, sometimes some directors I talk to, like they're like, I'm I have to they have different reasons, I guess, behind
Sure.
why they pick a show. And also as an artistic director, like there's I think an additional layer of nuance, right? Because
Yeah.
this is one body out of three bodies that makes up to throw back to a previous micro thing, back
Yeah.
to politic of a season.
Yeah.
What are you looking for just in general in work, and what are your favorite kind of things that you've directed thus far? What's on
Sure.
this kind of bucket list for you?
Sure. Those are three very different questions. So I'm going to start with the first one. Um, it is what I kind of touched on it, but this script in particular has a very long history in Chicago. Friends with Guns, and I'm going to do my best to segue one into the other, but Friends with Guns is supposed to be produced originally in 2018 by Broken Nose Theater. Broken Nose, unfortunately, has since gone, was one of the victims of the COVID pandemic. And so when they had to shutter their doors, Stephanie was a little protective of the script and wanted to make sure that if it was going to be done in Chicago, it was done right. It was originally produced in Los Angeles. It had a rolling world premiere back in 2019. Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, Minneapolis, and Chicago was supposed to be on that list as well, and then COVID. And Stephanie has just been protective and has been in LA and hasn't been around and has been in Portland and has been all over the country over the past couple of years. And so yeah, it just kind of fell by the wayside for a minute until Georgette Verdon, who is the associate artistic director at Northlight Theater, taught the master scene study class in spring 2024 at Acting Studio Chicago, where you and I met, as well as a good chunk of the Short Leap Ensemble. Georgette actually assigned a scene from Friends with Guns to me and another pair in our class. And the minute I read it, I was obsessed. I was like, why has this not been produced? Where has this been my entire life? What is this show? Um, and so that was when I learned all of that history. Around this time, and this is kind of speaking to the inception of A Short Leap, Josh Leeper, the other artistic director, who is also playing Josh in Friends with Guns,
Awesome.
really began to realize that we were kind of paying to play a little bit and that we really wanted to just have a place to just practice, which is where Study Sesh was born. Study Sesh being our weekly Actors Gym. I know you know this, but for the listeners, our weekly
Yes.
Actors Gym that we host every Monday at a designer toy store in Lincoln Park, Rota Fuji, who is general managed by DC Cathro, our resident playwright, blah, blah, blah. Name drops as much as I can. Um, I so we started Study Sesh, and we from there realized that we had kind of tapped into a bigger community that needed opportunity, and that was kind of where Short Leap was born, in an effort to be a catalyst for community opportunity creation.
Mhm.
TM. Um, and we began discussing like what it would look like to produce, and Josh and I just kind of really felt strongly that it was something we should consider, and a couple of scripts rose pretty early on. And for our first season it was a little different because the ensemble didn't look like what it does now, and we didn't have the same degree of following that we do now. Like Short Leap has really kind of blown up, much to the surprise of both Josh and I, but also I think to everybody a little bit. And Olivia, our marketing director, had worked out a rights arrangement for another production of Clearing, our first show this year. She had worked out an arrangement with the rights holders a couple years ago, and they were able to work with us and fold in her existing arrangement with ours, and so we were able to produce that. And Benny V was a world premiere. Short Leap was very excited about creating opportunities for new work and for
This was
actors to
Steve
get to
Martin,
explore
correct?
that. I'm sorry.
This was Steve Martin, yeah.
Stephen G. Martin, the playwright, correct. The subtle, sublime transformation of Benny V, to give full credit. And then Friends with Guns was the one that just kind of kept coming back for Josh and I both.
Yeah.
And when we were looking at selecting our season, this would have been in August of 2024. We brought the scripts that we were really excited about. After soliciting selections or recommendations from our ensemble, we brought the scripts that we were most excited about and read them at study sesh and read scenes from them. And those three really kind of rose to the top pretty quickly.
Hmm.
As the artistic director of literature, those three in particular, like, had a theme of identity and like exploring, like, who are we? What are we wanting to do? Like, which is something that Short Leap, I think, is still answering for ourselves. Like, who are we, and what is the identity that we want to carry forward?
Hmm.
And Clearing asked this question that continued as I put together the season. Like, Clearing continued to resonate this question of who are we when we're told to be something else?
Mm.
And then Benny V, it's something similar. Asked the question like, who are we when we're given a chance to do something different, to be something different? And then
Hmm.
finally, Friends with Guns asked the question I've already asked. Who are we to each other?
Yeah.
And so putting those seasons, putting that together, like Friends with Guns in particular, was something that was just exciting, had a story behind it, had a history in the scene. And all of this was wrestling in my mind, wrestling around in my mind. And then I literally happened to run into Stephanie Allison Walker on the street outside of a Red Orchid Theater. And I recognized her because I'd done research, and I was like, hold the fuck on. Are you? And she was like, yeah. And her and I, I had a mutual friend with another gal out in Barrington, and we just connected. And from there, it was Kismet. And so, all of that said, we're now producing Friends with Guns in the same theater that Broken Nose was supposed to produce it in 2019.
Wow, that's right. They were resident at Den. That's crazy. Whoa.
So that was the first question, I think. Um, what was the second question?
Yeah, I threw them all in together. What are you looking for in work?
Yeah,
And I guess just kind of talk about what's your bucket list. What are some highlights,
sure.
previous ones?
So my work, I am primarily an actor. I started directing in college, did a couple of like things in my capstone project, and then did some more directing with Sunrise and Topeka and got to do some stuff. But what I've identified clearly is I love comedy that comes at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
As a director, especially, I love where comedy and conflict meet. I love being able to dissect like why this is painful. One of my favorite examples of comedy that comes at a cost is Chekhov. Uncle
Mm-hmm.
Vanya is one of my favorite plays, and I think it's fucking hysterical because of one moment in particular when Vanya goes to shoot the professor and fucking misses from point blank range. He misses. And that's so funny to me because it's so tragic until he fucking misses his face. You know what I mean? And like, how can you do anything but help but laugh? And I think, wasn't it Chekhov coined the term the human tragedy or something like? I may be making that up or paraphrasing, but something about the human existence is just so tragically funny.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I love comedy that hurts. And so, like Clearing, the show I directed at the beginning of year by Beth Hyland, explored what it was like when you're isolated in a pressure cooker and
Mm-hmm.
when people are unkind to the degree that it causes one to snap. And it's very satirical and rapid fire and hysterical, but also like deals with a very, very real issue of feminism through the distorted lens of perfectionism.
Mm.
And Friends with Guns obviously is a dark comedy and explores a pretty heavy issue pretty deftly, with some like pretty jarring statistics as well as like some really juxtaposed with some really sharp witticisms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then yeah, those are and I all of that alongside connection.
Mm-hmm.
I love people trying to connect and failing because that's where so much of the comedy lives.
It's like slipping on the banana peel.
Exactly. Trying to connect and failing. I'm talking about it right now. There's that scene. Uh, I think it's a David Ives short play.
Mm.
It's the opposite day one, California.
Oh,
Do you know what
something
I'm
like
talking about?
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know the name, but yeah,
the Philadelphia.
yeah, okay,
Um,
yeah.
I
It's
just
two
think
guys.
about, yeah, I think about that one a lot because it really feels like a desperate attempt to connect.
Mm.
And one guy is experiencing opposite day and the other one isn't. I don't remember exactly the plot, but it feels like they're just trying so hard and everything is just missing by that much.
And it just continues. It builds its thing. It's great.
And then you finally hit a point of like, and then it takes it again. And you can't help but yeah.
David
Like
Ives.
comedy, yeah. Connection and comedy that come at a cost, I think is like really my bread and butter and what I get excited to play with.
Yeah. So then, I guess, kind of leaning in, Friends with Guns. And sorry if I missed it.
No, 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 no.
What was that moment, maybe for you? What was that moment in Friends with Guns? Is it kind of that when they're meeting and it comes up, or do you think it comes later in the play?
I think there's a lot of moments like that. I don't know that there's one that I
Yeah.
can pinpoint. I think, the cast that I've been able to work with has been just outstanding at finding so many moments. Josh, obviously, I've got a good working relationship with Josh Leeper, who just has tapped into this juxtaposition of energies that is so not him.
Hmm.
And playing opposite him is Shannon Amanda Hayes has just got an earnestness, and those two, when their conflict comes to life, it's electric. And
Yeah.
then, as Lena and Danny, Karina Lastimosa and Fabian Guerrero, respectively, just offer beautiful foils. And so I think that there's moments where like the comedy comes out of something that's supposed to be dark and harmful, and you're like, and then you can't help but laugh because it's like, you're not supposed to do that,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't be laughing. Yeah. So I
Oh,
think there's a lot of it. I think there's moments like where you go from one energy to the next back very quickly. And I think that the cast made my job very easy because they've been so willing to just try
yeah.
and trust the work in themselves.
Just taking the leap.
A short one.
A short one. But there is so much in that little bit.
It's true.
Micro. So leading in,
Mhm.
segueing, what would you say? We do this thing at
Yeah.
top of each study sesh that you guys have introduced from the very beginning, called shorts and leaps, where like each person who's there gets a chance to. Well, I'll let you describe it, and then I'll let you describe it, and then go ahead if you can give me one. This is like a 4-part, 5-part question, like the last one, but give
I'm
me
ready.
an artistic director short and leap and a director short and leap.
Sure. Um, okay, so to describe shorts and leaps first,
What is
if anybody's heard of roses and thorns, it's generally something that's good and something that's less than good. We call them the shorts and the leaps. It's where are you leaping ahead and where are you falling a little shorter than you'd like to. It's all the same. What's good, what's bad. Give me one of each. Um, so to start as an artistic director, um, this is tough.
It
I
doesn't
have
have to
been,
be one. It can be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's a leap. One of the things that has been so humbling or fulfilling is just seeing the connection, like the connections that have formed as a result of the work that a Short Leap's done. We've been doing study sesh for almost 2 years now. We're finishing up our seventh season of 8 weeks. We've got our eighth season coming up next spring. Like that's our longest running program. And the thing that I'm proudest, like people come back. People come back and come back and come back, and they'll be gone for a month because they booked something that they worked on in study sesh. And it's like, oh, cool. Wow, we're having a tangible impact. Like Benny V, I probably shouldn't say any names, but Benny V had performers, and that's something too. Like as an artistic director, we've had casting directors from Steppenwolf, from Goodman, from Chicago Shakes, from the Artistic Home, from all of these different organizations show up. And we've had actors book work at those organizations as a result of being seen in a short leap, in the work that they're doing in a short leap. And we've had people get representation as a result of the work that people saw at a short leap. And like I've always said that I didn't say it first. Isaac Newton said that if I've seen further, it's because I stand upon the shoulders of giants. And I am nothing without the people who helped me get here. Admittedly, that's taken out of context in the way that Newton said it, but the sentiment's the same. A rising tide raises all ships, and the reality that I am proudest of is that we continue to be a place where people can come and elevate themselves and raise to a degree that they didn't expect. And like there's a tangible impact being had every time we turn around. And that's crazy. Um, Short, as an artistic director, you know, it's how to sustain. How do you maintain growth that seems to be exponential
Hmm.
without tapping the giants that you've got on your team to the degree that they're short again, to continue extending the metaphor? How do you
Hmm.
continue to tap those people to help you sustain the growth without burning them out? How do you
Yeah.
do that without burning out yourself?
Yeah.
And that's just a question that I think has been on my mind a lot. We've grown exponentially over the past year and a half. How do we can we maintain? How do we build on that? How do we keep everybody who's already done so much work to help us grow? How do we keep them motivated and engaged and excited to continue to do the work?
Yeah.
As a director, my short is I love direct. It's also hard because I'm working with friends. My short as a director is I have to let go and don't get to hang out with the cast anymore. And
Oh,
that's just like, they're building, it's so cool to watch them build this relationship as a cast. But then I like show up and I'm like, hi guys, you know what I mean? And that's a very surface level thing. Like, it's just hard to let go of it sometimes.
hmm.
My leap as a director is getting to watch them every time I get to watch them.
Yeah.
Getting to watch the audio, and I'm art also like vain. Like I did the sound design for Friends with Guns too, and getting to watch not only the actors but getting to watch the audience react to the sound design has been truly one of my favorite things in the world. And you'll understand when you see it because
Yeah.
it's so fun just to get to watch people bob their heads when they're not expecting to. Oh, I'm also a DJ. Like I'm also a DJ when I'm not doing theater. So like getting to like I have such a visceral reaction when people like my music.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I didn't know it was your music. Wow.
Huh?
I didn't know it was your music.
It's not my music, but it's music I picked.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Well, oh my God. Thank you so much for joining us on a I don't know where else to go from there. Thank you so
Well,
much for
I
oh
technically never did answer your question about my bucket list.
yes, give me your bucket list.
I
Give me
know
your
we
bucket
have to go. I
and we
want
some plugs.
my bucket, yes, and some plugs. My bucket list for shows I want to direct. I don't know, man. I want to direct People, Places, and Things by Duncan McMillan. That's
Yeah.
at the top of my list. I want to direct. Um, I really want to direct The Realistic Joneses again. I've done it before. I just want to revisit it now that I'm like not 24
Yeah. Will
and have yeah. Correct. Will Eno, and then I also just love Will Eno work. I would direct anything he wrote. I love his plays so much. I also really want to direct uh, The Crucible,
mm,
an Arthur Miller play, period.
hmm.
And I really hope that we get to a point where Short Leap can start producing musicals because I really want to direct Title of Show. I really want to direct Murder for Two. I really want to direct Come From Away. I want to direct with a bigger production budget.
Don't we all?
Yeah. And then some plugs. I know we got to wrap up. Some plugs. Obviously, come see Friends with Guns. We run through December 7th at the Den Theater. Visit the Den or at shortleaptheater.com to get those tickets. Reach out directly if you need a discount code because we got them. Um, Shout out the Artistic Home playing downstairs. Superior Donuts by Tracy Letts runs through. Got extended through the 13th. I saw.
Uh,
Uh,
good.
Dakota, you're in that. He's in that. Just want to shout out, the entire Short Leap ensemble and leadership team. Like they are my giants, and they help me see further every day. And I hope I return even half the vision that they do. Also want to shout out my mom because I miss my mom
Uh,
and my dad, both of them.
oh, are you going home for Thanksgiving?
No, but I think I'm gonna go home for Christmas.
There you go. That's what I'm doing too.
S'more.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I'm sure I'm missing people. Go see theater.
Go
Even
see.
if it's not us, go see theater. Oh, just go. If you
Yeah.
can't see a show, ask them for help. People want you to see their shows.
Yeah.
Just
I guess
ask.
here's a good kind of sign off. What are some shows? Well, let's keep it basic. What are some things you're looking forward to next year, both, administratively, artistic,
Yeah.
a director, artistic director, as an actor? What are
Yeah.
some goals or hopes for next year, and what are you looking forward to here at the end of the year with the holidays?
Um, so I'm gonna answer the last question first. I'm looking forward to taking a break. I'm looking forward to a nap. For the holidays. I'm looking forward to that. Um, for next year, administratively, I'm really excited for our first ever gala coming up in February. Super
Mm-hmm.
excited for that. We're doing an adult spelling bee on February 20th, so keep on the lookout for that. Super excited for our main stage season. Short Leap is inviting everybody to take a moment and breathe with us. We're doing Lungs by Duncan McMillan. We're doing a world premiere of a brand new work because we're super excited about producing new works called Good Day by Diana Lynn Small. And then we're doing 4,000 Miles by Amy Herzog. Um, all such great scripts, all perfect for Short Leap's intimate, exciting, you know, uh, uh, yeah, super appropriate for us. I'm super excited about our reading season, which we're still in the middle of deciding. As an actor, I'm so excited to audition again more. I just have been focusing on directing, and so haven't had the opportunities to audition as much as I'd like. And I've got some projects under wraps that I can't actually talk about directing projects yet, but I just am excited about directing for companies other than a short leap.
Hey, we gotta grow. We gotta
We got to.
swim. It's a big ocean. Ugh. Well, Nathan, thank you so much. I know I can't
Thank
believe
you.
it's not even 11 yet on a Saturday. We're so productive.
Look at that.
Thank you again for sharing a little bit of your Saturday morning, for getting up early and just chatting with some shorts and some leaps, talking about Friends with Guns. Go see theater, go see Friends with Guns, go see Superior Donuts, and stop on by a study sesh sometime.
That's right. Do it.
Yeah,
Great.
cool.
Thanks, Dakota. This has been a joy.
It's been a joy. We'll have you back for sure.
Yay.
Heck yeah, because we got to talk more about study session, all that stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Yes. So later in this cycle, and just thanks again. Thanks to everyone who's been following us and continuing to watch, or just joining us now. To the future people joining, thanks so much. And we're just excited to continue to explore the ever diverse microcosm that is Chicago's theater ecosystem. So we hope you join us again at microChicago and the whole to explore the infinite space of small.